Record.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to is it not recorded?
Good.
All right. Welcome to the Tuesday, November 7th, Election Day, meeting of the Voorheesville Board of Education Facilities Committee. The agenda is up there. So I can't quite read it from here. What's first? $100,000 project update?
So we have a approval from the state finally as of Friday. We're getting a co-op quote, which is equivalent to a state bid, so that we can start moving forward with that as soon as we possibly can.
And that is roofing. So this is the $100,000 project that was approved last budget for this one, which is part of the aid that we have to, so we have to get it done this year. And that's the roofing at the elementary school. As part of this budget proposal for next time, we're working on another $100,000 because it's aidable, right? We get revenue back. And that will have to be at the secondary because you flip flop each year. So you do one at the elementary and then secondary, then back.
Depends on the need, but you don't have to, but we've generally been doing that, so yes.
So we're approved and moving forward on that. So how about emergency work update?
Yeah.
That is the brick work. Yeah, so the brick out at the elementary school, if you happen to forget or didn't realize, we had bricks literally falling. We were very lucky that it didn't fall on a car or a person, because one actually fell right on the sidewalk in front of the building. And after they did the assessment, Neil, you can talk about what they found in the assessment and then what you ended up doing about it.
So after taking a closer look around with the actual mason, we're looking, and some bricks were already missing in other spots and other ones were about to fall out. So obviously falling bricks from the third floor would not be good.
Nope.
So we had AJS masonry come in, and they were here for a week shoring up all the corners and everything else around them. So no emergencies anytime soon.
Final price tag on that was?
Almost 19,000 for a full week, 2 people plus the lift to get up to the third floor. And
It really isn't for safety of the building.
Yeah, it's a lot better than falling bricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And now we know everything
Mhm.
good up there.
Well, we know.
well, this is a good start
Oh,
Okay.
due to a
I'm
lack
glad you
of,
said that, because
so this is the oldest part of the building.
okay.
Probably hasn't been repointed in quite a long time, so a lot of the mortar is gone in other places. So we're at no immediate risk of any more bricks falling out. But in order to keep the building from deteriorating more and falling apart more, next summer, we will probably have another week or so of shoring up the next list of priorities.
And will they determine that, or are they just set to come back out to reevaluate it?
It was kind of myself plus the project manager from the masonry company. It's like, hey, these areas are the main concern. We're missing bricks here. This is where it fell. This one's already missing a brick, and one of the bricks was crooked and looking like it was about to fall. So these are the problem parts. Just like start there, and then whatever time is left, we'll reassess and look at those, and then kind of work down from highest priority down. And so next summer, hopefully we can get them in again, or another company, to shore up some more, just to make sure we don't have any other issues.
Great.
And no bricks falling on anybody.
Yeah, take it nice and easy, but not ignoring any concern areas.
no deferred maintenance.
Well,
That's the rule.
that's the problem. We have deferred maintenance that we're working on.
So that's the rule. No more deferred maintenance. Everything gets on a plan. I'm gonna skip because there was another emergency issue, and before you even think about it, yes, it's hot water tanks.
Oh,
So, Neil, why don't you talk about the wonderful hot water tanks?
So the good news with hot water tanks is we had the elementary service today, and one of the circulator pumps had gone bad. Got that replaced, and both tanks are up and running like they're supposed to at the elementary school. Bad news is one of them has failed at the high school. And we have the new one in that was covered under warranty, but to get it installed is going to cost $9,600.
So let's refresh a little bit. These are the same hot water tanks that were installed with the project that we did prior to my arrival in the boiler room. And the same hot water tank that also was faulty and flooded. So that one that we had put in 2019 or 2020 failed again.
They're
So
warranted.
there's
So the the tank itself was covered under warranty, but the service
labor.
to actually install it, and because of the location down in the stairs, the rigging of it was not actually covered.
And so it didn't cause a leak or any damage like that, but again, they're just not working. So the number one rule that we have with any other projects moving forward is those hot water tanks do not get put in our district. So we're not buying those ever
That type.
again. Yeah, we're never going, that brand and that type is
TV.
off limits.
As far as the cost, we actually do have it in the budget as part of that 325. We're going to use those funds, so.
So the replacement is not the same kind?
It's the same kind.
Oh, it is.
Because it was
That's what they
covered under
said.
the warranty.
But when the warranty's done and we do have to replace, we're just gonna replace completely with a different brand.
Mhm.
It gives me nightmares. But I just wanted to bring that up because that is an emergency thing that wasn't as a big as a deal as a pointing, but still important. VoIP phones. Jim, you guys want to talk about that quick?
So, we've been we worked with our current vendor of our current phones to try to get an estimate. And their number was fairly low on the equipment side, but very high for ongoing service.
Extremely high.
Roughly in the $50,000 per year range for all the software that goes along with it. So we decided to look at other opportunities. One of them, NERIC came in about 4 or 5 years ago and did an estimate for us as well, and they're updating that estimate now. And it looks in this case like the equipment will be roughly the same, but the cost per year will be less and it will be aidable. So there's a significant difference going with NERIC rather than.
And any money we utilize towards that project is all aidable, right? So everything we do, any of the new phones, just to refresh a little bit, our phones are dying. We've had issues over the summer where we had no phones at the elementary school. So we're having issues where they're starting to go, some of them are analog, some of them aren't. So our system itself is in need. 4 years ago, we were here. We had them come in to look at it. We did not have the infrastructure needed to go to VoIP completely because of the fact that we didn't have fiber optic cables or everything else in our building. So in order for us to upgrade our phone system, we still had to do all the infrastructure work that we've done. So now that we went back and done the infrastructure work, we are now able to upgrade our phone system to a much stronger system, better system that is more capable for years to come. But we just have to now start looking at how do we move forward with it.
And we do have funds under BOCES that are available for that, so.
The one thing is the phones itself, they're very similar. So we have very similar phones in the classroom that they have already. We'd have sidecar phones for some of the offices, and then other phones will have video phones. And the video phone will tie into the system out front. So for example, if someone's trying to get in for a meeting and it's 5 o'clock, Jessica phone will have a little ding and I'll be able to let somebody in, or Jim would be able to let somebody in. So we don't have that ability now in this office, so that would do it. It also connects to our PA system. So we'll have full connection to our PA system very easily. And it also connects to our Bell system. So that VoIP system has a lot more integration qualities than we'll be able to have currently. I've used the VoIP system in 2 other districts, and it was very, very good for what they needed it for. Only problem is when you lose Wi-Fi, you lose phone. That is,
No, when you lose phone,
internet, you lose
Yeah.
phone.
that's,
Internet.
sorry, not Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
the internet.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
But I mean, when a phone pole goes down, you lose internet, you also lose phone.
Exactly, so it's the same thing. But, so we're looking at, still trying to price that out and work through it, but definitely we're thinking of those VoIP home systems really do need to get changed up sooner than later, because we'd hate to not have phones one day.
We would hope to be able to do it next summer,
Mhm.
but that all depends on timing and, quotes and everything.
What is the backup plan if there's no phones, cell phones, personal phones?
The backup plan is Band-Aid it until we're good.
No, I mean, when you go to voice over, if the internet is down at the school and the phones are down.
Oh, typically it goes very, very quick. So usually there is no real issue with that. So like a lot of times, like I've been in districts where you haven't had it within a half an hour, they're back up and running again. So, and if that happens, you use a cell phone for the major
Your
issues, but
personal phone. Yeah.
For some districts, they do have copper lines, just like in certain, places just to
Mhm.
have it available.
And we will have POTS lines. That's the policy. I'm gonna be real clever here now and actually use the term.
Plain old telephone system.
Yeah, that's
No
what
way.
POTS. Yep. Yeah, they call them POTS lines. We're gonna have those for certain things such as like your alarm system and other
Okay.
stuff. Cause if not, you put it onto the digital and it wreaks havoc.
Same with the
I
fax.
lived that. I did that before. Horrible. So certain things we'll have on those lines.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions on those?
No.
But that's all new this past couple months. We've really pushed forward on understanding that more. Building updates. This is all new.
We just did the hot water tanks. Our sprinkler fire suppression system in the pack has failed inspection due to a faulty pump. So we are currently working on fire prevention to get a new pump installed in there. We do have street pressure, we just don't have the booster pump available. So the suppression will still work if there was an emergency in the pack in the middle school wing, but it's just at street pressure, so 55 pounds instead of 80, what it would boost up to.
But that still is within the
Within
safety
code.
guidelines. of the
Yeah.
code.
People can be in there.
Yeah, signal risk to the play.
So all that's so there's just it's pretty rusted
Yeah.
and corroded on that one area, so they have to get that replaced.
This is 20+ years old when I was originally brought in.
But still safe,
Yeah.
still meets code, just needs to be repaired.
Camera project, similar vein to the VoIP phones. We're looking at redoing most of the ones on the inside up here at the high school because the elementary school is getting all the work done in the next couple of years. We don't want to put in brand new cameras down there
Yeah.
and then have them get damaged while the work is being done.
So this is phase two. So phase one last year was outside cameras and new systems, new DVRs to be able to do that. Phase two now is to upgrade the inside cameras. We can use a lot of the camera, like a lot of where the cameras currently are. We are going to be looking at consolidating some using fisheyes or 180 cameras or different perspectives. But currently our camera system is, as Lonnie would say, duct tape and bubble gum put together. And every day I think he's fixing our issues with our cameras. You would agree because you help 90% of the time on those things.
Mhm.
So we're looking at doing the same thing. We have the funds. We've already budgeted for it this year. It's now just getting it finalized and then getting Kamali to come in and do the project. Again, we do this through BOCE, so then it is also aided. So we're also pulling revenue in for next year.
It'll all be in the one new program that we're using with the outside cameras, which is a much more effective, better to use instead of having two separate programs for cameras as far as outside and inside.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Did the outside of the elementary get updated when we updated the
Yeah.
outside up here?
Yeah.
So those are new, it's just the inside
Brand new.
stuff.
So the elementary school is completely covered all the way around with high def, unbelievably strong cameras, everywhere throughout the whole building. So outside.
I can see the playgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright.
you can zoom in on the playground.
Sweet.
You can see everything on the outside of that area now.
There were also a few internal
Inside,
cameras
yeah.
that were replaced at the
Mhm.
elementary as part of that project
Oh,
because
okay.
those had failed. So
There was a situation that I had to work with, that came up where we had to look at the cameras one day and export some of that information to share with other people. And it worked unbelievably well. We were able to get
Awesome.
2 hours worth of camera footage on our outside of our facility and like 7 different cameras, have it all done together. And I was able to do it myself within half an hour. So if I can do that and use the system and have it work, you know that it's pretty much foolproof. When I can do it. Because I am not good at this stuff. So, field update?
Field update, we did our sprinkler winterization outside, so we're not gonna have any issues come springtime. We did an overseed and a fertilizer, so again, for springtime. And we already have new growth starting in the gold mounts of soccer, start to thicken those up. So we're in good shape as far as fields go, started rehabbing softball, so as soon as everything dries up in the spring, we'll be ready to go there. Still have to talk to Joe about baseball.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, fields are in good shape and should be fairly strong coming into the spring season. As long as winter cooperates with us.
And this year we've had more compliments on our fields than I think we've had in many years prior. So hats off to Neil and the team for making sure that our fields are up to par.
Do you have to do anything with the tennis courts in winter or no?
We cleaned them up took all the leaves off them, so they're not just sitting there
Mhm.
naked, because usually as they kind of decompose on there, would be a layer of slime underneath them. So they did clean up and take a good amount of leaves off of there,
And he has a new toy for that.
and we have a new toy for that. Instead, it worked very well.
The blower.
Three passes with a walk behind blower, and everything was in one corner, and just scooped it right out of there, nice and easy. And I've always taken the nets down in the wintertime, just so they have a longer life to them.
Mhm.
But other than that, just, yeah, leaves off, nets down.
And the tennis court is beautiful.
I know,
Yeah,
It really is beautiful.
I agree.
So. And pin on diving system.
Diving board,
diving
yes.
board.
One of the pins was missing a clip on one of the ends, so it was wiggling out
Mhm.
as the more it got used. So we put it back in and make sure the clip got back on there so it was secure. And then some of the brackets on the railing itself, some were loose, some were missing. So we replaced all of those. So as you climb up, the railing is more secure now, and the diving board shouldn't go anywhere anymore.
And we do have a timing system on order. It's been on order for how many months now?
4 or 5.
And it's still on back order.
Huh.
So, our timing system is pretty bad. Am I correct in saying that? It really needs to be completely junked and get our new one in. It's unfortunate, just, we're still stuck with some of these back order issues, so we're just waiting.
They have an estimate, or it's just wait?
I haven't heard any estimate.
It's
no.
pretty much,
Some of the parts have come in, but a lot of the main parts that will make it work aren't in yet.
and we hear, oh, they'll be in next month, and then next month is, oh, they'll be in next month, and then, so it keeps on our hearing.
When does that boys season start? Is that January or is that?
Boys season runs in the winter, so
Yeah.
November 13th.
Oh, so
Same
yeah.
with basketball.
So we muddled through with the system that we currently have, but it would be nice to have the system. I mean, we
Yeah.
wanted it for the girls. We didn't get it. So we're hoping at least we get it soon so we can start using it. But it's there. One thing that's not on here that I wanted to have on it, I forgot to put it on, my apologies, was fire inspections. So we had all of our fire inspections done this year. Every year they pop it back another month. So it's just kind of the way it works. I don't understand it completely because
11-month inspection.
and so everything passed, everything's in,
Mhm.
and we got our COs, so certificate occupancies, so we're good to go. And I think there were really not any issues, Rosa.
Just a couple little things, like an extension cord that shouldn't have been there, and missing a couple plans. So rooms we painted over the summer, and we said, oh, we'll replace that, and then we did.
No issues.
And we actually have a date for this middle school vestibule now, which is next week, for that to be finalized.
Is that for moving the
The
buzzer
doors, yeah.
and stuff? So the buzzer will be inside and then the doors will be locked on the
Yeah.
inside.
So it'll be a
as opposed
completely secure vestibule.
to- Yeah.
And
And
so
then
date is next
will you still have to buzz on the outside, or the outside doors will just be unlocked? You
They
walk
still have to
in?
buzz on the outside.
So you still have to
and
So
buzz
you
on the
buzz
inside.
into the lobby.
It's a double
and
buzz.
It's a
then
double buzz.
They will buzz them into the building.
We'll have the access for the fobs for employees to actually get
Oh,
in.
cool.
So
Everything takes time. ladies
Neat.
and gents. So, all right, any questions before that?
No.
All right, project update. Neil.
So we, in order to not have to do everything at the elementary school in the summer. We were talking about possibly doing some of the outside work next summer. Because we'll be doing a good amount of excavation up here at the high school for the bus garage. Why not start working on this? This would include the drainage areas in the backfields that have been failing.
That would be back here.
Yep.
Yep. So everything that you see in pink,
Yep.
Yeah. this
pea
old parking
green,
lot, yeah.
and orange is going to be done next, hopefully in the summer. That's our goal. This area, we will have to change up a little bit and maybe not do some of that because they're gonna have to do concrete work and other work back there
Mhm.
and do an addition, so we might not be able to do that. But the idea was, currently it was on one bid for one project.
Mhm.
We want to split that out and have it be a separate bid of its own. Most likely, it will be more enticing for whoever does the bid for transportation to take that for the site work. The goal is then that's a ton of work, right? Ton. It'll allow us to get it done earlier, not stretch as long. And the really neat thing about it is the orange, where the parking lot
Mhm.
is, that will just be one top coat. So we'll be able to put, test lines on those. So any of the paving lines or the parking lot lines or any of those things that, we're putting in are not permanent. So that way, if they don't work or we don't like the configuration of the parking lot, we actually can scrap it. And then as they put the new one on the next summer, we actually have the ability to go forward.
So will we be like next school year into the new parking
Oh,
config
yeah.
then already? And the buses will be out of there?
No.
Not-
So here comes the problem, right? Our transportation facility.
Yeah.
Is probably gonna take a year,
Mhm.
right? So we're hoping that we can move some of the buses back and forth and maybe
Mhm.
still have to use the buses. So we're gonna have a little bit of a gameplay
Mhm.
to figure out exactly how things are gonna work. We don't have good answers on this. It's going to be, here's what no one ever tells anyone about projects. I think I've been trying to be as forthcoming as possible. They're fun to get started. They're horrible to live through, right? They're no fun because you have to just deal with the clutter and the mess and trying to figure it out. So there'll be a good 2 years of a lot of quick thinking. Inconvenience, yeah, and a lot of quick thinking. But this is the best option to get it done in a quicker time frame, and to move us forward a little bit. Plus, those backfields where the drainage is, they're failing really quick. So we need to get that taken care of as quick as possible.
Yeah, don't want any more sinkholes.
Nope.
And that's not 100%. We did widen out, the entranceway
Yeah.
here. So this area we did push back more, so there's more room for the buses to come in and make this turn here and then peel off as after drop off to get out again. So this would be another, 8 feet back.
Okay.
So there was plenty of room for,
We went
everybody
beyond
to get-
code because we'd rather have as much room as humanly possible.
And that accommodates for snow as well,
Code is for you.
I would assume.
but again, with the year of test driving the parking lot out, we do kind of get to play with it. Make sure everything does work out.
But everything you see in green is brand new. So all the concrete, all of the restructuring, I mean, basically the whole outside site work is getting redone. And restructured for the elementary school.
Yeah, that'd be a really nice, visible,
Yeah.
start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, the next one. This is more. All right, so this is actually the learning area.
So
Is
this would be
is
that,
This?
Yes.
no, this one.
Oh, it's that.
Oh,
one.
thank
So
you.
this is right in front of the current,
Uh-huh.
garage doors on the,
Let's do it this way. So
Yep.
here's the bridge coming in,
Mhm. Crosswalk.
right?
Yep.
This is the little one garage door where the kitchen is so they can have people get things
so
done.
this would be,
This is raised up about 2.5 feet.
Mhm.
And then this is a screen of trees as they come over. This is benches. So they're about 2 feet wide and they go in a
Oh,
circle.
along a.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so kids can go here and then kids can also be up here. So that can be a classroom, it can be a presentation
Are they
area.
tiered?
Yep,
Is there
they're
two?
tiered. Yep.
Huh.
And then as they come in this way,
See there.
there's an entranceway and this is an entranceway with a covered bridge so they can come in and out easily in here.
This-
Again, another seating
the
area.
dotted part is
And
the
those-
canopy.
Yep, this
Yep.
part right here is canopy.
Mm.
This again is another seating area. And we can make these 4 square size, so the kids can go out there and play 4 square and different things like that.
That would be amazing.
And then I was also talking about putting like little chessboards on it.
Mhm.
So just having a little fun. I know Jim laughs at me for these things, but
No, I
That's neat.
think I came up with that one.
I did.
You,
I stole it. Did I steal your idea?
Mm.
So we were talking about having some fun with it, but these are, we talked about having it match a little bit more
Mhm.
and, give you an idea of
There's
some
sort of
what it will
rendered.
look like. Now, it's no rendering,
What is that style?
but it'll be a little bit more of that style.
Of like the.
Yep.
Oh, I see, like 2-tiered benches. with
Yeah.
the- Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I like
nice
it.
multi-use area, can have a lot of kids out there, you can do
Mhm.
presentations, I could even imagine to have like, if you do a graduation, kids come out there for a little assembly or, anything. I think it's gonna be a nicer opportunity than what we currently have, which is nothing out there. So,
That's great.
Yeah.
Neat.
yeah, so it came a long way. What else we got on that? I think,
Front entranceway is that picture I put in there.
all right. So we got some bad news.
Historic.
Yeah, no, so we had a little bit of a bad news. This is the new entranceway. Neil, do you want to show them what we received the other day that was bad?
that we all just,
We kind of got
So
speechless
we
for
were,
a minute.
we were presented with this one with the door very offset.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's.
Why?
A catch basin was why you couldn't shift the pillars around themselves, and the door is kind of where it's going to be because of everything on the inside of the
You
building.
can't change the door. The door has
Yeah,
to
the
be.
door
door
has to be
has to be
there.
where the door goes.
And there was a catch basin, so they couldn't put the footing where they originally wanted to put the footing, so they had to move the footing to be able to match it. That was not acceptable.
No,
We all
no.
agreed that looks absolutely horrible.
Hmm.
So now they've come up and I have to
I
give
honestly
Jose.
can't believe that they drew that up and showed it to us.
Yeah, but you should, I think my face was, Jim can attest to what my face looked like. I was like, I just don't understand this. But to their credit, they came back that night. We had 3 different drawings to look at. So they were very quick in responding back to us. Here's the one that we did finally look like what we're going to be able to do. Neil, do you want to explain what changed on it?
So the other reason they were going with this size was because of the angle of the roof to match another angle on the roof.
Mhm.
The
But
main entrance area.
the main entrance area. So we decided if the angles were a little bit different, that doesn't draw your eye anywhere near as much as being offset like that does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So with the door more centered, and this actually gives you a little bigger of a pavilion area for more coverage in the event of weather. So that's why we.
And we can, now there's benches that go on the side of that.
Mhm.
So we can also put benches up in front as well.
Okay.
So we'll be able to offset that a little bit, but
Neil, what is the overhang on this? Like, what's the depth of the overhang?
I
8
believe,
foot, right?
I believe so. The new style might have been 12.
12 foot
Yeah,
well,
width,
wide.
yeah.
8 foot long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 2 footings. You know, I joke that we should put copper on it. It's a joke though. The copper, the roof, the
Mhm.
lighting underneath it to be able to make it very, accessible and
Mhm.
welcoming. And Chippo has said nothing about it. So
Yeah.
they've all approved.
Cool.
Lucky you.
That's
Yeah,
great.
we were very surprised by all that, to be honest with you. Well, they haven't said no yet. That's
Mhm.
probably the word I should use. The inside really quick, we had the artist came, met with a bunch of students. She showed us further renderings. I don't have them today. Sorry about that, but the gathering space, she did an amazing job really capturing what a gathering space is for the gymatorium. And what she did is she had about 40 students all work in the elementary school, K-6, and they developed bugs. And she gave them all different kind of paper and shapes. So they made all these different bugs. They're going to scan these bugs and the kids can have the bugs back. And then the bugs are actually going to be inlaid throughout the project because birds eat bugs. So it's a part, so and insects. So it kind of all goes together and that's all student driven. They're really neat. Transportation speed limit limits, I'll talk about that one. The speed limit sign down at the elementary school on 85A is broken. It constantly is flashing.
Oh,
It's
is this only supposed to flash when school's in
Yes,
session? Is
it's
that the?
absolutely annoying.
Huh.
I can't, so we know that. I actually got a complaint from a parent and I told the parent, I go, that's funny because I literally just called him an hour ago and complained about it. So I was like, nope, we know. We're trying to work on it. You want to explain kind of, because I don't want to.
So I met with Mike Goyer the other day, formerly in my position, because he used to actually program it and get it to run. So we reset the timing on it, which apparently didn't actually fix the problem. But they're actually town owned. So we've been in contact with them and trying to get it rectified.
Town and not village, or is it?
Or village.
Is it
Village, yeah.
And the guys were out there again today. I saw Rob and
Rob,
team out there.
because Rob had programmed and he kind of took over that.
So they're out there again today trying to reprogram it. So it
Yeah,
might change, but
I remember that happened before.
Yeah,
Someone reprogrammed.
basically an
it,
agreement
better.
with the village as Mike, the village just kind of left it on all the time. Because it was better to have it on than not on at all, was their thinking. And Mike kind of took that reins on that and was out there programming it to get it to work right. So
hopefully we'll
trying to
get that
keep that
back up and running again. But just so you know, it is something that we're working on looking at. And then the NYSERDA study.
So, as
Yeah,
we
share
discussed a
that
little last
for you.
night, part of the NYSERDA study is, to talk to National Grid. We talk to
Mhm.
National Grid, we have the capacity. Then it's a matter of, they're going to study the CHA consulting group through NYSERDA. It's a grant through NYSERDA. They're going to study what we need to run through conduit and everything like that, so that we're prepared if we're gonna do a stub up, so that we can just put the charging station in right when it's needed, or if it's gonna be a hand pull instead. How to make this work with what we're doing, so that we know if this timeline holds, that by 2035, we can actually have all the buses electrified and have them all charged. So, we just got the National Grid information last week, so that kind of kicks off the process. It'll be about a 12 to 16 week process for them to tell us, here's what we believe you need to do, and here's what it's gonna cost, and here's what the implementation procedure will be. At that point, we can work with the project and put everything in place that we need to. So,
What you have in front of you is a draft of what the power lines will look like, and how we're bringing things in and leaving, and where the chargers will be. So that gives you an expectation or understanding of that.
that's the initial. We may go with more outlets per charger instead, because this is set up for 2, I believe, per charger. It depends on that study, whether or not they say, okay, it makes more sense with the fast charging to go to 4 outlets per, or keep it at 2 outlets per. So,
And Neil and Jim are working on getting another company to come in and set up chargers for cars. So we'll have car charging stations as well at the elementary school and
Mhm.
transportation, and at the high school, middle school.
in the parking lot across the bridge and
Awesome.
behind the tech room, right?
So a little incentive for our staff as well. We did talk about giving codes to our staff members. So community members would have to pay, our
Mhm.
staff members
Right.
kind of an incentive to be
Yeah.
green. And also, work here, as they could get a code and
And the cost
Charger.
is reduced by 90%, since you will have it open to the public, so.
Yep.
That's great.
some positive stuff.
Mhm.
Any questions?
No.
Lots of good things happening with facilities.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's the good thing, if something bad happens, Neil will fix it.
Neil.
That's a plan.
Anything else?
No,
No.
All right.
great.